Hello, everyone here at Dedicated to Art. I am Nico Suave Regoli, one of the three main panelists on this channel, one of the behind the scenes people over at Combat Wrestling Trivia and the Combat Wrestling Network. I am the current reigning, defending, and first ever TMG Entertainment Chokeslam Wrestling Debate Champion of the World. And as of 2 hours ago, a very, very proud and happy graduate of Penn State New Kensington campus. Woo! Oh, it's been a long time coming, and it feels good to finally celebrate this milestone. But my duties to Penn State, New Kensington, and to their charitable um, extra activities is not done yet. And as long as cancer is still a thing, and as long as pediatric cancer is still a thing, I don't think my duties will ever be done for Penn State New Kensington. Because, ladies and gentlemen, this is the announcement video for the card for the second annual Trivia for THON event. Now, for those of you wondering, what is Trivia for THON? Here's where I explain what Penn State THON is. And because there are some people who might not understand the correlation between the two, or might not be aware of what Penn State THON is. So, for the past couple decades now, students from every Penn State campus have gone to University Park in the late winter time to dance for a 46-hour period nonstop to help raise money for the Four Diamonds Pediatric Cancer Research Fund. What the Four Diamonds Fund does is they raise money, and all the proceeds that go to that charity are then directed towards covering the financial costs of the families who have patients in Penn State Hershey Children's Hospital. The rest of the money also goes to doing the research to help find a cure for pediatric cancer so that we can actually reduce the number of kids who enroll in that hospital. Last year, or rather earlier this year, no, it was last year. Excuse me. January 24th, 2018, to be more specific. My father passed away after his long time 14-month battle with brain cancer. And having been a part of Penn State for as long as I had actually never gone to a THON event. And then I realized I have to go to this now more than ever. I want to go to this now more than ever. And I did in his honor, and it was a big deal for me. And it left a lasting impact on me. So the next year, I thought to myself, I want to do something for my dad. I want to do something for THON. And so I came up with the concept of, originally it was called the John Regoli Memorial Triviathon for THON, but I realized that was an entirely way too long name. So now we're just calling it Trivia, the number 4, THON. Hashtag Trivia, the number 4, THON. And in this case, the number 2 at the end, because this is the second annual Trivia for THON event. So use that hashtag for social media, Trivia for THON 2. But so what I did was, in my dad's honor, I got in touch with all the Movie Trivia Schmodown fan leagues and their admins, and we put together a bunch of matches. I competed in all but one of them, 15 matches in total, and we shot them all in a month, and we uploaded them all over the course of a week to help raise money for Penn State New Kensington's fundraising efforts. And my goal was 6,000. We were just under that by the time Trivia for Thon 2 ended, but we made it up to 7,000 right at the fundraising deadline overall, which brought Penn State New Kensington up to our goal of 30,000 and put us on the top 10 campus fundraisers lists. Like my efforts even got recognized by a local newspaper. So that just shows you how successful this event was. And now we're bringing it back for us the second year in a row. We're going a lot bigger at it because last year it was definitely in honor of my dad, hence why the very long name with his name in it. But now I realize that you can't rely on doing something in honor of someone's memory for an extended period of time. So hence why it's just Trivia for Thon now, because I want this to be my thing. I want this to be sort of my legacy that I'm leaving on you. And I want to increase the social media presence. I want this to be more about the fan leagues and the good work we do to put content and entertainment out for all of you. I mean, yeah, I still want to honor my dad, but I want this to be more like we're putting on a show for you now. Last year we did this to honor my dad's memory. Now we're doing it to put on a big show for you. Much like how AEW, it started with an idea of All In. Like they got matches from Ring of Honor, from New Japan, from other indie promotions, and they just put them all onto one card for the sake of your entertainment. And that's what we're doing here. We're taking matches from all of these fan leagues, bringing them all in so that you can have something to keep you entertained for a week while we raise awareness and we raise money to help make life a little easier for a bunch of kids who shared in my dad's fight and who still are sharing in my dad's fight. So with that said, I should also mention that the goal for this year, at least for me, is I want to raise $10,000 this year. Like people thought $6,000 was crazy, and I beat that record. So now I'm thinking even crazier. Let's go 10,000. Let's up the ante. Let's see what we can do when we put our minds to something, and that's what we're doing here. Trivia for Thon 2 is going to be from January 17th. That's a Friday, all the way up to January 24th. That's also a Friday. So 8 days long. The day after the final day of Trivia for Thon 2 will be, if you're watching live on Patreon, it'll be the Schmodown Season 7 opener in New York. So it's kind of been, for the past 2 years, the unofficial opener to the movie Trivia Schmodown season opener. And I'm excited about that. So to announce the card, ladies and gentlemen, here we go. I'm going to get up my notes real quick. And just for reference, I also have a giant whiteboard with all of the matches on it. So here we go. First night 1, Friday, January 17th, 2020. We have one match, but it's a big one to start things off. In Combat Wrestling Trivia, over on the Combat Wrestling Network YouTube channel, we have the inaugural Teams Championship match, and it's a special one. It's a 5-team tag turmoil match. Afro Samurai, myself, and the current workhorse champion, Matthew Rosa, taking on Jacob Barber and Michael Turner, who do not have a team name yet, as far as I know, taking on the heavyweight champion, Andrew the Dude Hayes, and his partner, Aaron Sellers, the A-plus players, taking on the Breakdown Boys of JB3, James Berryman III, and Adonis Nazario, AD. And for the final team is a weirdly put together one, but they have experience working together in the past in other leagues, so we'll see how they do together once again. It's Harley Boric and Subrath Sharma. So we got 5 teams, and here's how the rule structure will work for this tag turmoil match. 2 teams will start the match, those 2 teams being Afro Samurai and Jacob Barber and Michael Turner. Members from each team will individually answer 7 questions. The team with the higher combined score after those 7 questions will move on and face the next team out of the 5 in the lineup, whereas the team with the lower scoring total will be eliminated. In the event of a tied score after 7 questions, sudden death questions will be asked until the tie is broken. The cycle will keep on going until the 5th and final team has entered the match, and whichever team wins that final 7-question period will be declared the inaugural Combat Wrestling Trivia Tag Team Champions of the world. So that's starting off night 1, and also we don't have a set show in mind yet, but dedicated to art, we'll be doing a special episode of the Who Cares Anyway podcast later on that evening. We'll figure out what the topic will be soon enough. And Doug Castle, get in touch with it because I want to do something for night 1 with you too. So that's the schedule for night 1. Night 2, that is Saturday, January 18th, 2020. We have 2 big matches in the realm of Full Metal Trivia. The first one is a Full Metal Trivia Classic match hosted by Cameron Holzman. I will be competing in this match, and so will 4 other people who have yet to be determined. So stay tuned for the Facebook post. They'll let you know you can sign up for this Full Metal Classic match and get in, because it's going to be a fun time. That is the undercard for night 2. The main event, however, and this is awesome because it is on the same night, by the way, that Donald Cowboy Cerrone will be fighting Conor McGregor at UFC 246 in a 5-round contest. So, main eventing Trivia for Thon 2, night 2, Saturday, January 18th, will be a Full Metal Trivia random match, a UFC Trivia triple threat Iron Man match between myself, Adonis Nazario, and Grant Gregory. So yeah, we all three of us love the UFC. We love mixed martial arts as a whole. So we're gonna get, as the late great John Schnepp used to say, we're gonna get sweaty for all of you as we talk about the fight game and we answer questions about the fight game. So that is night 2. Night 3, Sunday, January 19th, 2020. The undercard. Another match in Full Metal Random, another Iron Man match in Full Metal Random. The trivia subject is Lego movies that were theatrically released, as well as the Bionicle DVDs. And that will be a match between myself and Nazario Montenegro. So, yeah, he wanted the Lego movies. I wanted the Bionicle DVDs. We met in the middle. Here we are. We're going to have a good time for all of you. For those of you who have seen the Bionicle DVDs and don't like them, tough nuts for you, because I do. I like everything about Bionicle, even the bad stuff. So we're going to have a fun time. And in the main event of night 3, in the newly formed Feature Presentations Trivia League on the Featured Presentations Productions Network, it is a strange Bedfellows teams match in the typical FPTL format. So basically what's going to happen is I'm going to be in this match as well. Someone is going to be randomly paired with me by Tony Heald's decision. 2 other people are going to be paired up on the opposite side, and we're all just going to face off in a teams match. So yeah, who will my partner be? Who will my opponents be? I don't know. I do know that James Spence has voiced interest in being in this match, so we'll see if he gets involved. I have no idea what's going on with the lighting right now, but we're just going to roll with it. So that is the card for night 3. Night 4. Now, there's going to be some controversy with this undercard match, so I'll just explain right here. I very much wanted to defend my TMG Entertainment Chokeslam Wrestling Debate Championship of the World as part of Trivia for THON 2. However, due to the Dragon Kingdom pay-per-view event that TMG is doing in February, it would have been hard to find a number 1 contender for Trivia for THON, or we would have to figure out something else for me to do at Dragon Kingdom. So what we did was there was a match scheduled for November that did not happen. It was going to be a champion versus champion non-title exhibition debate between myself, the Chokeslam Wrestling Debate Champion of the World, and Combat Wrestling Trivia's heavyweight champion, Andrew the Dude Hayes. It was going to be a special promotion versus promotion, champion versus champion non-title affair. It did not happen because of my college schedule, so we are moving it to Trivia for THON 2 to open up night 4. Again, it will be a non-title affair, so for those of you wondering, why is he not defending his title? I was vetoed. That's the reason. I wanted to defend it. It is what it is. So to whoever is my number 1 contender at Dragon Kingdom, stay ready, because I will be doing the same. And in the main event of night 4, Monday, January 20th, 2020, it is the Combat Wrestling Trivia Workhorse Championship, a triple threat Iron Man match between the reigning champion, my tag team partner in Wrestling Trivia, Matthew the Minor Threat Rosa. He will be taking on me and someone who showed a lot of promise at the Survivor event for Combat Wrestling Trivia. He was on the losing end of his match, but because his winning opponent is in the tag turmoil match, I figured we should give this guy a spot in the Workhorse title match. Liam Crowley, you are getting the 3rd spot. So be ready. It's going to be an awesome triple threat match, especially to those of you who like wrestling trivia. So stay tuned. It's going to be awesome. That is night 4's card. Night 5, Tuesday, January 21st, 2020. We have, as part of the undercard, we're going back to TMG Entertainment. Excuse me. There we go. That's appetizing. Sorry about that. But yeah, we're going back to TMG Entertainment for the 2nd day in a row. This time, a very special edition of Late TV Fights, as we have a Star Wars TV debate. It's dedicated to Art Civil War as I take on Chris Skywalker Doman. We've seen the questions. They're very interesting. I still got to give my answers. I believe Chris has to give his as well. But yeah, we're going to have a fun time with that match. So stay tuned for that. And in the main event of night 5, I bet you didn't see this coming, but the Full Metal Trivia Teams Championship will be on the line as part of night 5. So what's going to happen is Right now, the current champions are the Wild Stallions, Brian Michaels and Joseph Olivas. They will be defending their title against the winner of a tournament at the Snowball 3. That is Full Metal Trivia's end of the year event. There will also be a number one contenders match for the team's titles at the Snowball 3. So the winning teams of those two matches will face off against each other for the gold here on night 5 of Trivia for Thon 2. So stay tuned for that. I can't wait to see how that's going to play out. Brian Michaels, Joseph Olivas, they've been on a roll lately. They beat Team 80s for the belts that Paul Oyama and Michael Campbell vacated. So it'll be interesting to see who they end up facing, if they're still the champs, or if someone has dethroned them by the end of this year. And will we have new champions having their first title defense on just a few weeks' notice? We shall see. Night 6, Wednesday, January 22nd, 2020. The undercard match is another Full Metal Trivia Classic 5-way format match. This one I will not be in, so 5 spots are open. Nobody has taken them so far. I do know there were a few people who I said, if you want a match, I'll put you in. This might be the match I have to put you in. Again, stay ready for the Facebook announcements of when signups will be available as we get closer to the day of. So, yeah, there will be another Full Metal Classic match, 2 classic matches in total throughout the week. Stay tuned for the sign-up sheet. And in the main event of Night 6, it's a rematch from last year's Trivia for Thon, and it's a very interesting one at that. So last year, myself, my sister Gianna, and Jay Burns went head-to-head in a Full Metal Random Avatar The Last Airbender / The Legend of Korra Iron Man match. How that match ended was Jay won with 24 points. Gianna and I came in second, tied at 23. So what we're doing this year is we're basically going to start with those scores and do the match in reverse. Jay's going to start with 24 points. Gianna and I are going to start with 23 points. And for the first 30 questions of this match, correct answers, nothing happens. Incorrect answers, you lose a point. After those first 30 questions, we do a speed round where it's gain a point, miss a point, as usual. Whoever has the highest score by the end of the match will be declared the winner in the first ever reverse Iron Man match in history. So, yeah, if you like history-making matches, this is one of them. So stay tuned. It's going to be a fun time. Night 7, Thursday, January 23rd, 2020. In the undercard match, we have a special exhibition in Full Metal Geek. It'll be myself taking on the showman, the current Multiplex Entertainment Fandom TV champion, soon to compete in a TV title unification match with Alec Miller in Multiplex. But for now, he'll be taking on me in Full Metal's Geek division in an exhibition, Eli the Showman McKeag. He's been on a rough patch lately in this particular division. He's 1-5. He won the first play-in exhibition to actually qualify for the Full Metal Geek roster. Since then, the luck of the wheel has been hit or miss with him, more on the miss side than on the hit side. So he is trying to cement his place here. He was almost going to retire, and then I convinced him to do one more match. Meanwhile, I've been struggling to get on the roster since this league was created. So this is my hope to impress the admins, get a win, and hopefully get on the roster without having to go through the audition process again. Wishful thinking. Will it happen? We shall see. But that's the undercard. In the main event, we have a very special match in Full Metal Random. It is a Schmodown Trivia Reactors Rumble match. Whoo boy. So basically what's going to happen here is, for those of you who have seen the It Chapter 1 Losers Club Celebrity Schmodown match, we're going to follow those rules for this match, for the Reactors Rumble. Basically, it's going to be a rep of Dedicated to Art versus a rep of Call to Action versus a Take 3 Productions representative versus Albert Wiradharma versus Abby Friel versus Jeremy JTH Hastings versus a representative of the New British Empire versus someone from Talkin' Schmodown if they want to be in this versus, and these last two are very pending if they have a third person that's not currently listed in the Schmodown draft, versus someone from the Cinefanatics versus someone from Late to the Party. Again, those last two channels, representatives will only count if their names are not in the Schmodown draft, because I don't want to get in trouble. So yeah, but if your names or the channels you work on were just mentioned, you are eligible for this match, provided you are not currently listed in the Schmodown draft. So get in touch with me, get in touch with Malcolm, who will be your channel's representative. We shall find out very soon. And finally, as we get to night 8, the closing night of Friday, January 24th, 2020, the anniversary of my dad's passing, the second anniversary to be precise. We're ending it big. We're ending it big. 3 matches, and all of them have a lot of significance. So the first match, the undercard match, in the movie Trivia Face-Off. It was the first match I actually announced for Trivia for Thon 2, and it's been months in the making. It's a Schmodown Reactors 3-on-3 exhibition. 3 members of Dedicated to Art, those 3 being myself, Christopher Doman, and Case Cornelese, taking on 3 members of Call to Action. Currently, those 3 members are Paul Denuzzo, James the Cleaner Spence, and Alex McFarland. Shashank. I'm sorry, still getting used to the change of her last name since marriage. But yeah, Alex MacDaddy is going to be the 3rd representative, if she wants to be. If they've decided since we last made this agreement that they want to swap out players, that's fine. Just let me know in advance. Let the people know in advance, the people being Movie Trivia Face-Off, and we'll figure it out from there. But yeah, Call to Action versus Dedicated to Art, 3-on-3. And unless something happens in terms of scheduling, the Cinefanatics will be at the desk helping host this match. So stay tuned. It's going to be awesome. In the co-main event of Night 8, the Combat Wrestling Trivia Heavyweight Championship will be on the line. It's very appropriate that this is on the closing night, because the first Combat Wrestling Trivia Championship match was determined on the final night of Trivia for Thon 1, when Andrew the Dude Hayes defeated me in a last man standing match to become the inaugural champion, and so far the only champion. He will be defending his title against the current workhorse champion, Matthew the Minor Threat Rosa, with the caveat that if Matthew successfully defends his workhorse title on night 4, then this match here on night 8 becomes title for title, which I don't think has ever happened before in the history of the Fan League so far. So yeah, we could see another first time ever match here. This is the rubber match between these 2 competitors. Matthew Rosa had a bad performance in Andrew Hayes' first title defense, where he beat him soundly. And then at Survivor, it was a rematch. It was a champion versus champion non-title affair. Matthew ran away with that one. So now this is the rubber match. Who is the best of these 2? We shall find out. And in the main event, so far, the most well-established Fan League movie title around, the Full Metal Trivia Championship of the world. Right now, the champion is Jeremy the Atom Adams, but much like I said with the team's titles situation, he will be defending his title against whoever wins the Tournament of Dreams at the Snowball 3. There will also be a number 1 contenders match at the Snowball 3. Whoever wins out of those 2 matches will face off here on night 8 of Trivia for Thon 2 for the championship. So that is the card, and let me just run through it one more time real quickly. Night 1, January 17th, 2020. The Combat Wrestling Trivia Tag Team Championships inaugural tag turmoil match for the titles. 5 teams. Get ready for that. Night 2, we have a Full Metal Trivia Classic 5-way and a Full Metal Random UFC Trivia Triple Threat match. Iron Man rules. Night 3, Sunday, January 19th, 2020. In the undercard, a Full Metal Random Lego Movies Bionicle DVDs Iron Man match. and a featured presentations trivia league teams match in the main event. Night 4, January 20th, 2020, Monday. Myself versus Andrew Hayes, champion versus champion, TMG Entertainment Chokeslam versus Combat Wrestling Trivia debate exhibition match. And in the main event, the Combat Wrestling Trivia Workhorse title, a three-way affair. Night 5, Tuesday, January 21st, 2020. In the undercard, a late TV fights Star Wars TV debate in TMG Entertainment between me and Chris Doman. And in the main event, the Full Metal Trivia Teams Championship will be on the line. Night 6, Wednesday, January 22nd, 2020. A lot of speaking here. Undercard, another Full Metal Trivia Classic 5-way. And in the main event, the first ever reverse Iron Man match, a rematch from Trivia for THON 1. Full Metal Random, Avatar, The Last Airbender, and The Legend of Korra, Burns versus Regoli Part 2. Night 7, Thursday, January 23rd, 2020. We have Full Metal Trivia Geek Exhibition, me versus Eli McKeag, and a Full Metal Random Schmodown Trivia Reactors Rumble match. Losers Club match rules. So stay tuned for that. And to close out the week, Night 8, Friday, January 24th, 2020. Undercard, 3-on-3, Call to Action versus Dedicated to Art in the Movie Trivia Face-Off. Co-main event, possibly champion versus champion, title for title, but for now, it is the Combat Wrestling Trivia Heavyweight Championship, a rubber match between the defending champ, Andrew Hayes, and the workhorse champ, at the time at least, Matthew Rosa. And in the main event, the Full Metal Trivia Singles Championship, closing everything out. You guys are going to have a great time. I can't wait for you all to enjoy the matches that we put on for you. It's been an honor to be able to do things like this through the fan leagues, through this YouTube community, through this family that I've made, and to do it to also help another family in my Penn State family, specifically my Penn State New Kensington family. I love you all so much. How this is going to work is I am going to set up a donor box using the THON Nation website. And once I set that up, starting with the first match of Trivia for THON 2, I will post the link to that donation box in the video description of that first match. And I will do the same for every match that's a part of Trivia for THON 2 and for every dedicated to art video once I get that link set up. So stay tuned for when I get that link up, because that's where you can donate. All the proceeds will be through me going to Penn State New Kensington's fundraising efforts towards the Four Diamonds. So myself and Penn State New Kensington will get credit for the funds raised for the Four Diamonds and for THON. So yeah, Trivia for THON 2, it's going to be big. This is crazy. Can't believe we're doing this again. Shout out to Multiplex Entertainment, because even though they don't have any matches lined up for this one, I used them heavily to help put together last year's card. So they've earned a break. I hope to do something with them in 2021 for Trivia for THON 3. But we'll figure that out in the year to come. But for now, yeah, thank you to Full Metal Trivia. Thank you to Combat Wrestling Trivia. Thank you to Featured Presentations Trivia League. Thank you to the Movie Trivia Face-Off. And thank you to TMG Entertainment for helping me set all this up. Sorry the advertisement was so late. Again, I was so busy trying to get this that it took a lot of time out of my schedule. And so hence why we're getting to it now. But better late than never. That's pretty much been my motto for college, let alone for this. So yeah. Schmodown Reactors, I hope you're doing a reaction to this video, because this card is going to be big, and I want it to be big, and I want you guys to love it so much. I think I've said that 5 times now. I'm rambling. I'm thirsty. So, yeah. Closing plugs. You can find me on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube at Nico Suave Regoli, or just Nico Suave with 4 random meaningless numbers at the end on Discord. I should probably start working on that Instagram and Snapchat and LinkedIn by now. Combat Wrestling Trivia on Facebook, Combat Wrestling Network on YouTube. The poorly made Twitter handle is at Combat Wrestling, the number 2. There is no letter G. If you like wrestling, if you like wrestling trivia, go find us over there. We've got a lot of big stuff coming up in 2020. That's not part of Trivia for Thon 2, but a lot of the big stuff is also part of Trivia for Thon 2. So I hope you enjoy it. I am the TMG Entertainment Choke Slam Wrestling Debate Champion of the world. And again, Andrew Hayes, it's a non-title between you and me, but whoever ends up being that number one contender, I will defend this title happily at Dragon Kingdom, and I will bring prestige to this title. And finally, right here on Dedicated to Art, that's the name of the Facebook group, the Facebook business page, and the YouTube channel. On Twitter and Instagram, it's at D28 Channel. If you want to send in an audition to become part of what we do here behind the scenes or in front of the camera, we're still accepting applications. So DTOA channel at gmail.com. That's where you can send in your submissions, your auditions via email. And of course, we're on a bunch of podcast networks wherever podcasts are available. Check out our Schmodown reactions once we get back to those in the new year. We've got a bunch of new shows coming out in 2020. Some of them I'm hosting, some of them Case and Chris are hosting, some of them one of the new people who auditioned might get to host. And of course, the Who Cares Anyway podcast every Friday night at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time, live on YouTube. And then, of course, you can catch the replay afterwards whenever you damn well feel like. And of course, THON, Penn State New Kensington. I love you all so much. I wouldn't be doing this for you guys if I didn't love you, and I do. I'm a very passionate person. I almost cried accepting this diploma. This isn't even the real diploma. The real diploma comes out in 6 weeks, but I was still I was cradling this like it was a baby because I was so happy to have finally gotten this. Basically, thank you to anyone who's ever given me an opportunity as part of Penn State. Thank you to all the fan leagues and to the Schmodown fan community and to the Movie Fights fan community as well, because they don't get enough love these days. Thank you for giving me homes, all of you. Thank you for making me feel like I belong. I'm happy to return the favor to whoever is benefited by cancer. Whoever has been affected by cancer and who would like to see some relief in their lives. We're doing this for you. We're doing this for you. We're doing this for my dad. We're doing this for the kids, for diamonds. That's the hand symbol. I'm kind of just rambling now. So thank you. Yeah.